now reached the final game of the 4 games to be played consecutively, and it's Australia taking on Turkey. And this one is going to be really exciting, especially for Turkey, who haven't been in a World Cup since 2002. Now that we've got that out of the way, it's time to have a look at the top 3 players that you should watch from each side, and also have a look at the stats and the head-to-head. The first player that I'm highlighting from Australia is 22-year-old Alessandro Sakati. This defender is a player who has got a lot of potential, and at 22 years of age, playing in the Serie A, this is massive for Australian football. The development of many of these Australian players has been so massive, but seeing a player at this level, especially in defense, could be really brilliant for them, because they can consolidate, and he could possibly be one of the stars of this tournament if he can help Australia keep the opponents out. My next pick is Conor McCuff. I do believe that he resembles Jackson Irvine. It's not just the fact that he looks similar to him, but he also plays at St. Pauli. They are teammates, and Jackson Irvine is another young player. While not as young as Sakati, being 26 years old, I think that Jackson Irvine is about 5 years his senior, meaning that he is pretty much the second coming of Jackson Irvine, and I think he is going to be brilliant in midfield. They do need a workhorse, and if he can do it and help Australia getting the battles done in the midfield, if he does have Jackson Irvine alongside him, it could make matters even better for the Australians. And the last player that I've picked has to be Mo Toure. It's almost as if he's just spawned in from out of nowhere, and he is a brilliant striker. He moved to Norwich in January, and oh my goodness, I think he scored about 5 goals in his first 3 games, and not long after he was injured, but he's been getting better and he's still nursing his injury a little bit. But if he does reach his potential and he does end up getting some opportunities, I do believe that Mo Toure could potentially be the next star. And even though he just moved to Norwich in January, I think they're going to have trouble keeping him on their hand. Next up, we're looking at Turkey, and the reason why I've got Bayender as the player to watch, he may not be the starting keeper, but he's going to have to fight for it, because he needs to move away from Man United, who are looking at potential options for number 2. That does mean that they are probably going to be looking to get him out of the club, and this is his period to find a new club by impressing other teams and performing well. Bayender has shown some qualities at United, but I don't think he's anywhere else except a number 2 at United, so there's no way he would be taking Laman's spot. And I think that at Turkey, if he's faced with the same issue, it's going to be very difficult for him to find a move. The next player that I've had to pick is another player who I feel plays alongside a player who is sort of similar to them. Meet Orkan Kukcu. He plays in the midfield, and he reminds me quite a bit of Hakan Çalhanoğlu, who is somewhere between 31 and 33 if I am correct, but a lot younger than Hakan, and he could potentially be the next man in that midfield to help out. And then my number 3 is a duo. It has to be both Arda Güler and Kenan Yıldız, both of them 21 years of age, and both of them looking to impress. These are 2 players who are touted to be future players of being in the best talks, so I do think that this tournament is going to be massive for them. Güler obviously plays for Real Madrid, and Yıldız plays for Juventus. I have heard that Yıldız is currently nursing an injury, so he might not be playing, but Güler will definitely be playing. He has been making his spot, and he's sort of consolidated it in that Turkish side quite a while ago. And now looking at the form of both sides, Australia have picked up 1 draw and 4 losses in their last 5 games, while Turkey have picked up 4 wins and 1 draw in their last 5 games. In head-to-head, they've played each other twice, and Turkey has picked up both wins. And now it's time for my prediction. I'm going to keep it quite simple. I'm going for another 2-1, and I believe it's going to be 2-1 in favor of Turkey.